Hi, and welcome to Franklin Community Center's Problem Gambling presentation. My name is Stephanie. Let's get started. So what is gambling? Well, the definition of gamble is to play a game in which you can win or lose money or possessions, to bet money or other valuable things, to risk losing an amount of money in a game or a bet, or to risk losing something valuable or important in order to achieve something. There are 5 types of gamblers: the social gambler, the problem gambler, the pathological or compulsive gambler, and the organized crime gambler. And lastly, the professional gambler. The social gambler gambles for entertainment and little excitement. They dedicate a small amount of leisurely time, and gambling is not given excessive emphasis. 75 to 85% of the people who gamble fall under the social gambler category. The problem gambler is an individual who has crossed over the invisible line from social or controlled gambling to dedicate more thoughts, time, and money towards gambling. 10 to 15% of the betting population will have some significant problems due to their gambling behaviors. The pathological or compulsive gambler has an uncontrolled preoccupation and urge to gamble. Gambling has become the most important thing in their life. At this level, a diagnosis can be found in the DSM-5 as an addiction. Research shows that 5% of gamblers are compulsive, and without treatment, their addiction could progressively worsen. The organized crime gambler launders illegal gambling revenue at racetracks, casinos, and through lottery wagering. It's estimated that 4% of money wagering may originate from organized crime. The professional gambler makes a living through gambling. They bet in a controlled way, they handle losses well, and they do not let gambling interfere with their normal activities. Only 0.5% to 1% of gamblers are professional gamblers. Now, what might problem or pathological gambling look like in real life? Well, the Bet House put out a story about Joe. Let's take a look.
Hey.
So what's up, Gareth?
Oh, my cable bill, car insurance, blood pressure.
Blood pressure. Don't you need a heart for that?
Ooh, cold, man. So, speaking of which, the rest are in the fridge.
Thanks. I didn't even hear the doorbell.
Yeah, your sister and her husband let me in. They were heading out just as I was walking up. They got a really nice place here.
Yeah. I could get used to this.
Ooh.
Oh, whoa.
Speaking of which, how long you planning on staying?
I don't know. Probably just through the holidays. I should be back on my feet by then, I hope.
Yeah, Jerry told me what happened.
Of course he did. What did he say?
He just said that it looked bad, so...
Yeah, it did for him. I mean, come on. Money's missing, so someone must have stolen it. They don't even check with accounting to see if it's something they did on their end. No, money's missing, so I must have taken it. I mean, you just suck around after all that?
Just sucks though, man, because you guys used to be tight.
Yeah, well, his loss.
Yeah. So, have you heard from Nick? Is he coming over, or?
No, I don't think so. Ah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
It's about time, huh?
I knew they were going to come back in this game. I knew it.
Yeah. You're about the only one, then. They're practically in last place.
That's exactly why I'm about to make a ton of money when they win this game.
You're crazy, too.
No, just gifted. Seriously, though, I keep records of these things in my head. Different plays, patterns. That's why I watch the game with the sound off so I can concentrate.
What do you mean, patterns?
I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just little things, stuff most people don't pay attention to. It's like this weird sixth sense or something.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's just something I was born with, I guess.
Something you were born with? Oh. Okay, what happened with Nick then?
What do you mean?
Well, he told me that you're into him for about 500, so... What was your 6 cents on the fritz that day, or...?
Look, that's between me and him, all right?
Sure. Some gift, though.
Funny. Anyways, I'll be able to pay him back, and then some after this, so... There we go.
What are you doing there?
Well, what else? I'm up in my bet. Oh, you want in on this?
Not now, I don't.
You'll be all right.
In what universe? Turn up the sound so we can hear what they're saying.
No, I don't need to hear what they're saying.
Well, maybe I do.
Well, then maybe you should go over to Nick's house or watch it with your buddy Jerry.
Really?
Hey, you come over here, you're starting all this crap.
Who's starting crap, man? I just, wanted to turn the sound up.
All right, fine, here, whatever.
How much money did you put on this game anyway?
They could still win, Gare.
How much, Joe?
Enough to get me back on my feet, all right? What else am I supposed to do after Jerry screwed me?
Did he?
What's that supposed to mean?
Joe, your place used to be loaded with people on a day like today, man. Loaded. Hell, we'd sit around and watch the games all day together. You, me, Nick, Jerry, John, Stevie, and them. We had some great times, brother. We really did. And you had to start in with all this gambling stuff.
Oh, come on. Everybody was playing the pools, including you.
Nobody played them like you, though, man. Nobody.
And nobody won them like me either.
You mean nobody lost them like you? Look around, man. You lost 2 jobs. 2 good jobs. Your place, your girlfriend, and most of your friends, too.
Bad luck, that's all. All right, most of those guys were never really my friends to begin with,
Jerry has
so...
proof that you took the money. And you know it, too. Man, he did you a favor by letting you quit and not turning you in.
It's not like he gave me a chance to explain myself, all right? It's not what it looked like.
It's not, huh? So I guess what happened with Nick and the rest of them? You owe every single one of them money, but I guess all of that is not what it looks like either. I'll tell you what it looks like to me, Joe. It looks like a guy with a gambling problem.
So now you're turning on me, too.
Nobody's turning on you, Joe. Everybody just wants to see you get some help. Everybody.
So my sister's in on this. Man, I've tried to quit. I have, but I can't.
Well, I know some people that can help you with that.
I don't know about that, Gare.
Lucky for you. I do. Now, come on, man. We've got somewhere to be.
So as you can see, Joe struggled with his gambling, and so do others. Let's look at some statistics. Approximately 85% of US adults have gambled at least once in their lives, 60% in the last year. 2 million of US adults are estimated to meet criteria for pathological gambling in a given year. Another 4 to 6 million would be considered problem gamblers. So let's look at problem gambling in special populations. Of course, problem gambling can be present in any population, but listed below are a few specific populations to be aware of: adolescents, college students, and senior citizens. Adolescents are 2 to 4 times more likely to develop a problem with gambling than adults. Why is problem gambling present in youth? Well, societal influences have normalized gambling in recent years. Parents, family members, schools, and the community at large may not be aware of the risks of youth gambling. The media is bombarding youth with pro-gambling messages. And inadvertent promotions of gambling, involvement by schools who host casino nights, 50-50 raffles, and by parents who put scratch-offs in stocking stuffers or encourage rummy poker nights, all resort back to the problem gambling for youth. So let's look at the prevalence. Approximately 68% of youth between the ages of 14 and 21 have gambled in the last year. 11% report that they have gambled twice a week or more. 2.1% have already met the criteria for problem gambling, and 6.5% of those youths are in the category of entering the at-risk or problem gambling category. Adolescent involvement in gambling is believed to be greater than their use of tobacco, hard liquor, and marijuana. So what makes adolescents more at risk? Well, impulsivity, developmental nature, susceptibility to peer influence, emerging egos, the attraction of winning, their belief that nothing negative can happen to them, and their lack of understanding that there can be a downside to gambling all put them at risk. Adolescent brain development also plays a part. Adolescence is a period of profound brain maturity. It was once believed that the brain development was complete during childhood. We now know that that's not true. The maturation process is not complete until about age 25. So does normal brain development contribute to the adolescent susceptibility of gambling? Well, let's look at the indirect support. Greater risk-taking, particularly in groups. Greater propensity towards low-effort, high-excitement activities. Lower capacity for good judgment and weighing consequences. And greater sensitivity to novel stimuli. Now, this is for youth in general. Youth who suffer from deficits in judgment, self-regulation, that are believed to be neurologically based seem to be at a heightened risk, including kids with ADHD. In the general population, adolescent problem gambling rates are about 10%. In kids with ADHD, the rate jumps to 15 to 36%. Forms of problem gambling associated with problem gambling in the New York State youth. Here are some examples. Playing cards for money, playing lottery or scratch-off games, playing pool, basketball or other games for skilled money, betting on sports for money, and playing dice for money. These are popular forms listed in order. Now, let's look at what some of the reports show in students. Over 50% are more likely to drink alcohol, more than twice as likely to binge drink, more than 3 times as likely to use marijuana, over 3 times as likely to use other illegal drugs, almost 3 times as likely to get in trouble with the police, and almost 3 times as likely to steal or shoplift. Again, we can see how closely gambling is tied to the other risk factors in behavior, such as alcohol, tobacco, and other drug use and delinquency. Now let's look at the college-age youth. There are similar statistics and risks involved for these adolescents. There's less supervision and more access to gambling activities like poker tournaments and online gambling. There are school and Greek sponsorships of Texas Hold'em, casino nights, excursions to casinos, and more. Now, in the 2005 issue of Sports Illustrated, this is what we quoted. In college, you live wired. The number of hands you can play, the amount of thinking and studying you can do about these hands, everything is accelerated. Students are at a highest risk age. They think they're smarter than anyone else and vulnerable. Here are some factors that would affect senior gamblers. Senior centers and churches regularly sponsor trips to casinos, bingo nights, and more. Seniors may have a more disposable income than other populations. Seniors may have a limited financial resource and are looking for a big win to compensate that. Many seniors are retired and have lots of time on their hands and are looking for some social interaction. Perception that is that they deserve to have some fun now that they're older. Gambling can be a way to experience that fun as well as foster a sense of independence. And gambling can be a form of an emotional escape for seniors. So let's look at problem gambling impacts. Impacts on your quality of life. You could have mood swings, complications with relationships, eating less or willingly going without food, medications, household supplies that you may need just to have more money to gamble. Cashing in insurance policies and or spending retirement funds, college savings, etc. can also have an impact on your quality of life. Here are some effects on your family. Lack of trust, financial difficulties, anticipation of a loved one's mood, concern over physical well-being of a loved one, frustration with a loved one's inability to stop gambling and related consequences, anxiety and depression are possible. Here are some impacts on the community of problem gamblers. 20% of addicted gamblers have filed for bankruptcy. 20% of the homeless are gambling addicts. 20% of those addicted to gambling will commit crimes, and up to 50% of spouses of addicted gamblers are abused. When casinos opened in South Dakota, child abuse rose by 42%. 20% of gambling addicts commit or attempt suicide. The cost of a problem or pathological gambler does not only affect individuals and their families. Society also bears the brunt of gambling, with the overall cost to taxpayers estimated at $56,000 for each problem gambler, including cost of treatment, health-related costs, absenteeism at work, and time spent in court. Now here are some warning signs of some problem gambler. Be on the lookout. Spending more time on gambling activities than any other activity. Continues to gamble despite negative consequences. Preoccupied with gambling. Grades might be dropping or poor work performance. Stealing money to gamble. And time spent gambling interrupts previously engaged activities. Can you think of any other examples of consequences you might see in someone who has a problem? Do some warning signs vary from different person or different age groups? Yes, this is all possible. What can you do to help problem gambling? You can incorporate gambling lessons into the already existing alcohol, tobacco, and other drug use prevention programs. Analyze gifts, prizes, and events to ensure that they do not promote pro-gambling messages. Help parents and schools create policies against gambling. Raise awareness that gambling can be problematic. Challenge youth misconceptions about gambling and the odds. Educate youth about the potential dangers. And inform youth about how to get help. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Here are some resources. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at Franklin Community Center. Thank you for joining us today.